What's up, guys? Welcome to the hashtag Ask Damo show, episode number 12. We are motoring through these on the wheels of steel. As always, Mr. Morgan M. James.
Hello, guys.
We've got some questions, but we've got some things. So whilst I open these, I've been away. I have been away in the US of A. And we went from Albuquerque, Breaking Bad territory, right the way through to Vegas, Los Angeles, San Francisco. I did a talk a social media talk in Napa Valley. That was really fun. And it's good to be back. It does feel like I have been away for a long time. This looks very exciting. So if you've got stuff that you want to get promoted on the show, which will go on Instagram, which will go on Facebook, which will go on YouTube, then send it through to the address which will be in the link below. Oh, this is very cool. What's this? This is Rise in Red. You open that, tell me what it is. Good day to you, Morgan and the rest of the team from the boys in Rise in Red. First off, a massive thanks to you for your content and responding to some of my questions and comments on your Facebook and YouTube pages. No problem. You really have a big part of our growth as a band since discovering your channel. Amazing. Thank you so much. Rise in Red is an alt-rock group out in South Africa. Nice. We're busy releasing our debut album, having dropped a few singles in the lead up to the album. As per your advice, building momentum, I'm going to check you out as soon as we've done this show, see if I can give you some plugs. We thought you'd enjoy something other than a CD format. Smart. So check out one of our flash drives we have made with the album pre-release we did. We and our fans are digging this format, and it's something that your listeners might want to look into as well. They actually sold out in 1 month. Amazing. But you can have our last one because you are that special to us. So lovely. Enjoy the music. And again, thanks for your wisdom and positivity in a very strange industry. Cheers, Dustin, Jacko, Jason, and Pierre from the boys in Rise in Red. That is amazing. Thank you so much. So this is a flash drive. This is wicked.
That's amazing.
That is cool. Look at that. Amazing. Thank you so much. Love this.
And is that from South Africa?
That's come from South Africa.
We've got an international baby.
Love it. Amazing. I'll be plugging that and I'll be plugging them later. What else have we got on here? We have got some good merch. Oh, I love merch. So yeah, send your stuff through. This is the chance. Oh, look, you sort that out. I'll sort this out. We've got letters, posts, and then we've got some questions. Also, in the comments below, tell us about your Christmas. Tell us what you guys got up to over your Christmas and your New Year. I want to know. Dear Damian, hope you have an awesome day. I'm having an awesome day. Hopefully we still have time to submit our merch for the hashtag Ask Damo show. Yes, you do, and it will get featured on my Instagram, and it will get featured on the YouTube and the Facebook. Also, threw in a copy of our debut record, We Crossed the Line and We'll Be Fine. Let us know what you think of it, and you'll have a bit of spare time to check it out. We also have a new song called You and I coming out December 21st. Happy holidays and best regards from Germany. We're going international. Amazing. Daisy May, fantastic. Love this. We will be playing this and we will be going to check it out. Can I check out the merch? Check out the merch, baby. Look at this. Go and check them out. Everyone else, do them a favor. Go and give them some love online. Get that algorithm going. Give them some likes. Give them some subscribes. And I'm sure they will do the same to you right back again. Right, Mr. Morgan M. James.
Yes.
We have got some new questions.
We do indeed have some questions.
Good, because I've missed this.
It's been a while.
I've missed you.
I've missed you.
And your grey hair.
Right, are you ready for question number 1?
Banging.
Here we go. Right, question number 1. What would you do if your crowdfunding campaign was starting to fail? Pre-orders have halted, and that's from I Try to Drum.
Okay, so this is a very common occurrence. Now, one thing I think with stuff like crowdfunding, there's a few other platforms where you can pre-fund what it is you're doing. There's one issue that a lot of bands, I'm not saying this is what he's done, but a lot of bands do is they tend to use it as the end. As the beginning rather than the end. Now, if you think about it, yes, you want to fund your album, you want to fund your music, fantastic, but you still have to do all of the same stuff, which is you still have to build up that buzz, you have to get people excited, get people into it, you still have to advertise it to your audience. And what happens when you do all that and it falls short? then you start having to scrabble around trying to actually bring more value. So saying, well, what else can we do to get more money? Let's put more prizes up. Let's make things more exciting. Let's raise the stakes. Let's try and actually raise more money by giving and giving and giving. If you can do that, great. But what I would suggest is, using your crowdfunder when you do it as a finisher as opposed to a starter. When you think of like Kickstarter, I think it's more of a kind of kick ender, really. You're still doing all of the same stuff. You've still got to build your audience. You've still got to excite your audience. You've got to get people into that point where they are coming with you on that journey and they are so excited about your next album. If they're not excited, why would they do it? And obviously you're going to get your, what I call the circles of social media, where you're going to get your hardcore fan base, who are kind of super fans, your mega fans. They're always going to be a part of it. Then you've got the next ring out, which is sort of friends, family, and people who are excited about the band, right the way through to people that have heard about you or seen a post, have liked it on Facebook or following you on YouTube or on Instagram, and they're probably less likely. So at that point, you've got all of these different sort of circles of friends and fans. Your job is to actually start whipping everyone up into a frenzy. So it's the campaign before the campaign. It's still the same thing. You've still got to whip people up, and then it's that kick ender. It's basically just saying, right, we've got you all excited. Are we ready for this? We are going to put out the album. Now we need you to fund it. They are then excited enough to go and say, well, I'm going to basically pre-order an album, pre-order a t-shirt, pre-order a performance. Now, if it is falling down, the only thing that you can do to try and lift it up again is, apart from just using this as experience for the next one, is to start throwing in more ideas that you can sell, because effectively that's what you're doing. You're trying to pre-order the album or pre-sell the album. If that's not working, what is it that you can then give to the super fans, the mega fans, to start getting that money coming in? What can you start throwing out there? For example, are you going to go to one of your fans' houses and do a performance? Are you going to make a special video, a one-off video, and send it to them? Are you going to give away a guitar or sell a guitar? What is it that you can do? Are you going to record a bonus track which is going to go out to one person or 5 people? And are you going to do some artwork? Can you then start adding things in? But again, you're on the back foot at that point. What you're doing there is you're trying to salvage it rather than make the journey easier by putting all of the work in to whip up everyone to say, here we go, here we go. On the whole, it's great if you want to fund your album because you can't afford it, but if you can afford it, it's the same thing. You still have to whip up the excitement in the crowd. Otherwise, you are in a position where you're trying to raise this much money and only this many people are going to fund it. So I would suggest the best thing you can do is start adding in value now. But for the next time you do it, and for anyone else who's looking into this Kickstarter or crowdfunding campaign, one thing I would say is you have to do the same stuff. Don't forget, we are living in 2019. The algorithm is fully kicked in. It's about to change again. It looks like Instagram's about to change its algorithm again. And the organic reach is dying, if not dead. So you either have to start making content which is viral, which is very, very difficult, or you have to start putting some money into people seeing it. Don't forget, there's a lot of people who probably haven't seen your crowdfunding campaign. So you might have to put a little bit of money into making sure that these people are seeing your crowdfunding campaign. Because if they haven't seen it, they might be completely willing to invest, but just not seen it yet. And if you're relying on your organic content, then maybe only 3%, 4% or 5% of your audience are actually seeing and know that you are doing a crowdfunding campaign, and there might be a lot of people in there that don't know yet. So that's something else you can probably sort out.
Great answer.
Thanks.
Right, are you ready for question 2, Damian? Damian. Are you ready for question 2?
Damian, yes.
Okay, question number 2 is from Tamil and Trip.
Good name.
And they ask, do you get frustrated that your channel isn't blowing up, considering the work you put in?
Do I get frustrated? I have the same frustration. So here's my thoughts on this. I think this is the best question of the day, because I think this will reflect into so many people watching everyone's frustrated with their numbers. Unless you are you know, Peter McKinnon, and you start doing videos and all of a sudden within 6 months you've got 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Everybody wants more. Everyone's like, what's next? I want more, I want more, I want more. But everyone is also looking for the shortcut. And so firstly, if you look at, say, my YouTube subscribers, the very first year I put in a lot of work. I got 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. The second year, I got nearly 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. So you can see the difference between year 1 and year 2. Now, when you go on Social Blade on the future predictions, I know you have to take it with a pinch of salt, but it's predicting that I'll hit 50,000 in the third year and I'll hit 200,000 in the fourth year. I'd say that's blowing up. So I'd say it's basically putting in the building blocks. Now, if you look at Jack Black, right, who's just come onto YouTube, and his channel's called Chaplinsky.
Yeah.
Chaplinsky. He got 2 million-ish subscribers within the first month. And everyone's going, wow, Jack Black's channel's blowing up. Of course it's blowing up. He spent 20 years putting the foundations in to who is Jack Black before his channel blew up. It's not that his channel blew up, Jack Black blew up. Jack Black went and made loads and loads of films. He was in Tenacious D. He became a comedian and an actor that we loved. And he put 20 years worth of work, his body of work in, before he went onto YouTube, which was just the vehicle which then blew up. So I would say, firstly, I'm not worried about it because I'm thinking long term. What is it that I want to achieve long term? If I want to get to 1 million subscribers, then I'm thinking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years down the line. Is it feasible? Absolutely, as long as I carry on doing what I'm doing. If I think about how I can grow my channel faster, then it's a case of, can I work harder? Can I make more videos? And can I make better videos? Now, here's something. I feel like I am not a natural YouTuber. I don't mind going on camera. I feel like I've got a niche, but I'm not a natural YouTuber. I'm not 16, 17, 18 years old. I'm not making, you know, I wasn't in the vlog tradition. I'm not doing challenges where I'm eating cinnamon or crazy shit like that. And I'm also not trying to jump on trends. I'm trying to make a body of work. And because I'm not a natural YouTuber, I don't think I will just blow up. I think a couple of videos will blow up, as they have. And when that does happen, I think that will really help the growth of the channel, and YouTube opens the door a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. But on the whole, I'm not a natural YouTuber. Now, it's very similar when I flip this around to a lot of people watching. Like, you might be one of the most beautiful human beings on the planet, who has one of the most incredible voices on the planet, and just happens to be one of the greatest songwriters of our generation. But most of you, not that I want to be harsh, same as me, most of us haven't got that. We aren't the most beautiful person. We aren't the best songwriter in the world. So then what we have to do is we have to build up this body of work. We have to put the work in, because that's the variable which we can change, and we have to start working on emotionally tying into an audience, or doing something where the audience says, wow, I really believe in that. And that takes a lot more time than just going on camera and just being the best in the world. And if you can do that, great, you win, you jump. That's where you jump from 0 to 1 million very quickly. But if you're not, then what it's about is it's about one step at a time. Am I frustrated? Sometimes I'd like it to go faster, but at the same point, I also have to recognize the reason why it hasn't gone that fast is because maybe I'm not as good a YouTuber as I think I am. Maybe I'm not this world-class YouTuber, because I'm not. So what I've got to do is I've got to do piece by piece. But the numbers show, from going from 1,000 to 10,000 to 50,000 to 200,000, the numbers show that the increasing growth will speed up over time, and therefore, whilst it's not viral, the numbers will show that I will grow to where I want to get to. So, not frustrated, but I'm also realistic. I'm realistic about my talent. I'm realistic about what time I can put into it, how much money I can put into it, and where I want to get to is going to take time. And then it comes down to patience, and I can be as patient for this as I want. And I can also stop. If I get to the point where I'm bored of it, I just won't do it anymore. Or if I can see the growth carrying on, and I'm thinking I can keep doing this for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, then I'll just keep doing it and monitor it each day. So not frustrated, realistic is what I would say.
Right.
Next question.
Question number 3. How do you make social media content when your life is boring? And that's from Dark Leaves.
So this question's cropped up. So I was in Napa Valley just after Christmas doing a social media talk, and within that talk, 5-10 minutes at the end, And that question cropped up, and I really felt like, from an audience point of view, I really felt everyone was on board with that. It was a lot of social media, it's a lot of marketers and marketing managers understanding that content is king, understanding they have to make content, but also realizing that they're working in offices, they don't have an exciting life. So that really resonated, and it's something I feel like I've answered a few times this week. So when it cropped up, I wanted to put it on the show. How do you make content if your life is boring, or if you perceive your life as boring? Well, firstly, if your life is boring, then you are going to struggle. And why not, rather than tackle social media, why not tackle the other bit? There's this do it for the gram mentality that we are now all in, where people will literally go somewhere in order to just take a picture for Instagram and aren't actually enjoying or doing the thing that they're supposed to do in the place, which is absolutely crazy. Like the other day, I was in a restaurant and someone came and sat down and ordered just the dessert so they could take a picture of this crazy dessert because they're living the high life with this dessert. They literally scoffed it and sodded off again. They didn't enjoy the restaurant. They didn't enjoy each other's company. They were literally just there to take a picture of a crazy dessert so they could get it on the gram and go away again. I feel like we're living in a time now where people are worried so much about what the social media is about instead of living their life and making the life good, and then the social media should follow that. This is my opinion on things. I feel like if you are living a boring life, but you are trying to pretend and fake it and tell people that you're living an amazing life or it's very, very exciting, I think you're on a losing battle, because you aren't. It's not real. Whereas if you are, let's flip it around for a band or for an artist, if you are doing exciting things, if you are making that EP, if you are making that album, if you are writing new songs, if you are going on tour, if you are playing gigs, that is exciting for people who are outside the music industry. If you are not doing those things, then you're faking it. So for me, a band needs to be real, an artist needs to be real. And so therefore, all of the things you stand for, your journey, all the exciting things that you are doing on a daily basis, those need to come first, and the social media needs to kind of go along with that. So Gary Vaynerchuk had this thing where he says, document, don't create. And I have a real fundamental love and hate for this phrase, document, don't create. I get it if you are documenting how awesome the things that you are doing. If not, I'm dealing with you guys who are creatives. Therefore, our job is to create. We are creating music. We are creating emotion. That's what we're doing. So the thing that annoys me when I go on Instagram is people have gone, oh, I'll just document my life. And then they're like, just doing Instagram stories going, I'm walking to work. Oh, here's me at a bus station. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. It's boring. That's just not what I want to see. And then they're wondering why their channel isn't blowing up, why they're not getting more subscribers, more engagement. Well, it's boring. So this idea of document, don't create is great if you are making your life awesome and then documenting the process of all the great things that you're doing. If not, create something. Like if you are an accountant, which is what, that's tough to actually create because you're not a creative brain. We are musicians. Most of you guys can pick up an instrument and trigger an emotion. So why don't you do that? If you can pick up a guitar and play something and have people go, wow, that's amazing. Well, do that, because that's creating. That's creation, and it's making an emotional bond, an emotional tie-in for the people who are watching. So I do have this kind of love-hate with this document, don't create. Document if you've got things to document, but don't document for the sake of it. You're much, much better off tackling the core of the problem. Make your life more fun. If you feel like you only get one chance of this, if you feel like your life is boring, maybe there's the issue. Maybe we shouldn't be looking at social media. Maybe we should be looking at how you can make your life more fun. What time have you got? What time restraints have you got? But what time have you got to start doing more exciting things? And when I say this, I've had about 5 things this week where when I've said something, people have said, oh, it's all right for you because you've got money to be able to do that, or you're the boss of a company where you can take time off. I work really hard, and it's not about money, because I can go and find a puppy to play with, or I can go and create a song. This is not about whether you can afford to do something. It helps if you can. This is about you making a fundamental decision of what you are going to do with your time. And we all have plenty of time. We all are awake for, depending on how much you like to sleep, but we're all awake for 15, 16 hours of a day. So in which case we have time to make money, to look after our family, to do exciting things. And you don't have to be doing crazy, ridiculous, exciting things every single day. But if you go through an entire week and you're like, well, my life's boring, then maybe you should then start looking at why would the audience want to follow you? What have you got to say? Because that's what this is about. What it boils down to is taking money aside. What it comes down to is you will end up with a guitar or a keyboard or your voice, and you are talking to someone in the way that you do it, and you have to be able to speak to them. Money aside is just money's just promotion. The rest of it is you with a microphone, with a guitar, how you speak to someone. And so if you've got nothing to say, maybe this isn't the right thing for you. Maybe you should go and do something else instead. So I'd say tackle the crux of the problem, which is how can you have something to say? What do you stand for? And what time have you got? And how are you utilizing that to say, wow, I really enjoyed that. I really loved that. And hopefully the audience will get to see it rather than just documenting you sat in an office.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Cool.
And Damian, the final question. Do you have advice for dealing with bad publicity or being bad-mouthed? At what point should you stop ignoring and take action? And that's from Michael.
So if you're in the industry, and one thing I see a lot with Facebook groups is Facebook groups where they someone will ask an opinion of a music industry person, a music industry company, and then there's this barrage of hate. And you guys know what it's like. You know what hate is like. It basically goes like this. It goes, here's my opinion, someone else will put their opinion, and then I hope you die. That's the way it works. And so effectively, it's so easy to give negative feedback rather than positive feedback. And so in the music industry, when you're a promoter, when you're a manager, you're going to get bad mouths. That's the way it is. You're going to get some bad publicity. And the question, I like the end bit of the question, which is at what point do you take action? Because you can't start fighting everybody on this. Everyone's got an opinion and everyone's allowed to have an opinion. And so I get really nice comments and feedback on my channel, but once a day, someone will call me the C word or a twat or something else. And so that's hate online. But it's the same thing with the company I've got. Every so often, someone will take offense with what I'm doing for whatever reason it is, and they'll think that I'm doing something bad, and they will say, this guy's a fraud, or this guy's a cheat, or this guy will do something, he does bad shit. That's going to happen, because when you're putting yourself out there, you are going to, if you work with bands and something goes wrong, you have a disagreement, they are welcome to their opinion. Now, where it goes too far is when it becomes slanderous, when they're saying things which aren't actually true, when it's a fallacy, when they're saying something which is damaging to you, damaging to your brand, and there's no proof whatsoever that they have done that. So the way I would handle this is I would probably just ignore most of it, because at the end of the day, this to me is energy. Whenever I get bad press, bad publicity, or people spreading stuff about me, the easiest thing to do is just ignore it and say, that is energy. That's my energy that I'm now changing from moving forward to moving backwards to deal with stuff, unless I absolutely have to deal with it. So I ignore most of it. I would probably, if it's online, I think this is where it's really important, I would probably put, if needed, my point across in a very neutral, subjective way, so that I can just say, thanks for your comment. This is how I see it, and then I'd leave it at that, because that way, a lot of the time, especially with online hate, most people will actually look worse from ranting and raving at something online. When it comes to having to deal with it and having lawyers, it gets expensive, and you don't want to get into that fight where you're having to get a lawyer, pay lots of money. So I would leave that to at all costs. But what I would do is I would send an email to whoever is out there, if needs be, just saying, let's have a chat. You know, one thing that happened was I had this guy on YouTube. This was about a year ago, and he would constantly comment, and he was calling me everything under the sun. And I just said to him, let's go and have a cup of tea. Let's meet up and let's go and have a cup of tea. I'm not scared of it. It wasn't like he was ranting and raving like he wanted to kill me. He was just very angry. So I said, let's go and have a cup of tea and let me tell you about my business and how it works and the way I see it. Obviously he refused, but it definitely diffused the situation where everyone else then who was looking at this started to chip in and say, well, hang on a minute, he's offered you the olive branch. He said, let him come and have a chat with you and see if you can actually come up with some kind of reasoning of why we do our thing and chat about it. Within about a month, because a few people had started to chime in, he was gone. And you've always got to remember that you are trying to build something, and in order to build something, you are going to break eggs. You know, especially in the music business, and dealing with musicians and dealing with people that feel that their art and their creativity, you are going to break eggs. You can only do your best. And so that doing the right thing is always the right thing. As long as you feel like you're doing the right thing, that's all you can live by. But you are going to get hate, you are going to get trolls, you are going to get bad-mouthed. It's more how you deal with it than how you actually go and fight people. Because I hate it when I see people starting bitching online. It looks really awkward. So your best bet, ignore as much as you can. If you need to, put your point across. You know, they've stopped doing it now on Facebook, but there used to be that rating system where you can rate someone 1 to 5. And, you know, I had about 120 comments, which were all 5 out of 5. And then I'd get a 1. And it's horrible, because someone will go, this guy's a dickhead, he's a charlatan, doesn't know what he's talking about. And instantly you automatically just think, well, hang on a minute, I'm doing something really good here. You want to fight them on it. But from experience, it doesn't always help. So your best bet is to put the energy into the most important things. Spend the time and the energy on the most important things, which is positivity and building your brand and showing people the great stuff rather than focusing on the negative stuff. And that's what I would suggest.
Yeah. And if you do have a disagreement with someone, you're a musician, just drop a diss track on them.
Absolutely, yeah. Yes. Do a KSI.
Right, that is all of the questions, David.
Brilliant. So we're back in this. So from here on in, hopefully we'll be able to have daily videos. I am looking for some new ideas for some content, but I've got a few ideas. One thing I'd like to do is I'd like to do some more courses rather than just videos. So actually putting together a course on something, which is then split over a certain number of weeks. In doing this, if you've got any ideas, or if you just fancy, or you've got a question, or you fancy coming up with some questions for the show, I'd love to hear from you. Feeling a bit more organised this year, so hopefully I'll be able to get back to more of you on the DMs and the comments. So come and be a part of this community. Do me a favour, if you can share this, if you can like it, tell your friends about it, because, you know, the faster we grow, the more musicians we can help. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Send in your merch. Thanks to these guys. Address is below. See you guys next week.